On March 30th, 2020, in Regina, Saskatchewan, this billboard went up. After 4 months of the Love Big campaign, no one could have known we would be in the middle of a global crisis.
There was an idea that ended up conspiring to blend these love letters and this billboard together. And I remember the day it happened. I was driving to my kickboxing training class and I was stopped by a train. And for those of you who don't live in Regina, Saskatchewan, that's a pretty normal ritual for all of us to be stopped at trains. And when I was stopped at this train, on the left-hand side, there was this huge billboard that said, "I'm available." And immediately I took that as asking my heart, what am I available to today? And once the train cleared and I got to my kickboxing training class, I got a message at that exact moment from my friend saying, "Abort the mission." And that meant to stop writing these love letters to this mental health group because not everybody wanted one. But she inspired me to continue writing love letters because it was getting closer to Christmas. And she suggested, why don't you just hand them out to random people? And it was instantaneous. In that moment, I just knew that I had to combine these love letters with this love billboard. And I was so excited that day. I literally went home and started voice memoing all my friends on Facebook that I thought would contribute to this project and this campaign. And the idea was for every minimum $5 donation that we would get all these handwritten love letters in and collect them and hand them out to random people while raising funds to get this love billboard up in our city. And we ran into a lot of challenges and roadblocks, but we had so much help and so many people just wanting to come and selflessly give their time along the way. And one of the biggest challenges was actually the time it was taking. Because you know how this works. We have our way. We think it's going to be up by Christmas. And then there's another way. There's the universe's way. And so I was being asked to surrender to that. And even though we weren't at our goal close to Christmas, we decided to go out and hand out love letters anyways. We handed out 144. And I still remember one of the most significant moments that came out of that was the morning of that we had planned to go hand out these letters. I saw on Facebook that a local vegetarian diner here had been vandalized for the third time in a week. And I just knew we had to go there. And I remember walking in and seeing the owner, and he was so overwhelmed. He got tears in his eyes right away, and we embraced. And I let everybody know why we were there and that we were there to hand out letters. And we also have the privilege and his permission to make the boarded up window look like the Love Billboard. That was just an incredible day. One of the challenges that ended up being time ended up being the most pivotal moment in this whole story for me, because every time I started doubting that this wouldn't happen, I just kept hearing, trust that it's going to happen in divine timing. And it certainly did. Like nobody could have anticipated back in November that it would go up in the middle of this crisis. It went up March 30th, and it just made it in time because the billboard company actually changed their regulation because of what's happening. And if it hadn't gone up first thing that morning, it wouldn't be standing right now. And I remember waking up that day, and it was almost like Christmas to me. I was so excited. But I could never anticipate what would happen on my way there as I was getting ready to leave. The only thing I knew is I didn't want to take my regular route. I wanted to take the scenic route, because if I would have taken my regular route, I would have ended up seeing it in my rearview mirror, and that just wasn't okay with me. If I saw this Love Billboard for the first time, I wanted to see it head on, like face to face. So as I was driving there, I almost felt like I was going to meet like the love of my life, like something that you know is going to happen and you've been waiting for, but you just don't know exactly how it's going to make you feel. And on the radio, this love song came on. You're crazy is beautiful to me, for any of you who know that country song. You're beautiful, crazy, can't help but amaze me. And in that moment, I honestly felt like the universe was singing it to me, just acknowledging me not to change, and that this risk that I took was going to serve a greater purpose. And I was in love. I seriously was in love on my way there. And I remember getting closer to the billboard, and I turned the corner, and I thought maybe I would see it out of the corner of my eye. And I did, and I squealed like, ah! Like a little girl, honestly. Tears welled up in my eyes, but I didn't fully fledged cry. And then I turned around to come to it face on, and it was exactly what I expected, except way better. It just emanated so much love. It was so big and bold. And when I first got there, I called John Pogachar the man in charge of Love on Every Billboard, because I just felt it rightly to do so, because he is the man in charge of this whole movement. And Regina, actually, this billboard was the 107th in the world. In 1 year, 107 billboards have gone up. And then Global News Regina came, and then my friends started showing up, and it was just so incredibly surreal. My whole body vibrated with love and gratitude that entire day. And I never truly knew what this would mean for me. I really didn't. It was a testimony, and my testimony came out of the unfolding and the timing of it. When I look at that sign, it reminds me of an anchor. Like, it's truly an anchor right now for our city. And the anchor is love. And it's always been love. And I encourage anybody that's here locally to hand all of your fears and your worries over to this sign, because love is still the answer. Thank you.
Love is our anchor. It's always been love.